Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us today on our Little Italy of LA podcast. I'm your host, Deborah Zara Kobylt, and joining us today is Francesca Fanti. Thank you so much for being here, Francesca.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Francesca is such a delight. You are an actress, a voiceover actor, and also a writer. And you most recently appeared in the Oscar-nominated film Luca. It's a animated film by Disney Pixar, and I just love it. And you play what, the village cop, right?
I do, yes. She gives tickets.
Yeah. I know when I saw her, I thought, oh my gosh, I just ran into somebody like her about a week ago. Um, Talk to me about that role and how you felt when you found out this film was nominated for an Oscar. And also, how did you get this role as an animated actor? We'd love to know.
Well, yeah, Luca was really such a gift, such an unexpected gift. It came from a friend. She referred me to the casting director, and I auditioned. We just sent the voiceover for a few characters I did. I got the cop, and it was just such a delight to work with Enrico Casarosa. He's such an angel. We had so much fun working together, and with the casting director too. She's just amazing, Terry Douglas.
Mm.
So
Is
yeah,
it? Go ahead.
I didn't have many expectations. From what I saw when I was working, it looked amazing. I loved what I saw, but you work, you don't see much. I have a small role. I didn't see the entire movie. And then the movie came out and it got such an amazing lot of attention because it is a wonderful movie. And when I watched it, my God, I have to say, I cried. Then I was laughing, then I was crying, then I was laughing. And a lot of people felt that way.
It is such a beautiful, beautiful story from the very beginning until the credits start rolling, right? And I too was really crying there. It was for anyone who hasn't seen it, please make sure. I think it's on Amazon, or is it on Disney?
Disney Plus. It's on Disney
it's on
Plus. Yes.
Yeah, it's
yes.
on Disney Plus. But it's a beautiful story. But it's an animated film, and I know you've done a lot of voice work. Is that tough to get roles in voice work? You've done what? Madagascar. You've done all sorts of things. Would you tell us about it?
Yeah. Well, for me, it was a little bit of, I never pursued it, honestly. It always just happened to me. People would refer me for a role. And I think the reason why is because I used to do a one-woman show, comedy, crazy one-woman show where I was alone on stage, but I played eventually 18 different characters. I played four different women, but these four women would interact with other non-present characters. So I would do the voice for those non-present characters. The total was 18. And they were pretty crazy voices, like animation voices. So I think that's why somehow voiceover kept coming to me. Yeah.
Now, you are from Italy. You were born in Rome, right? Just outside of Rome?
Mm-hmm. In the province of Rome, yeah.
Now, on our show, we love to sort of dial it back a little and find out a little bit about what were you like as a kid? Because I often say whatever you were like as a kid sort of is the reason why we all end up doing what we do. Did you always want to act? Were you doing this sort of stuff when you were in Italy?
Well, as a child, I was very, very shy, Deborah. I was incredibly shy. Yeah.
Yeah, but so many actors are, don't you think? I know so many performers, and when you get to meet them in person, they're usually off in the corner somewhere, and people are so surprised to learn that, gosh, why aren't they on? Why aren't they performing? And it's like, because usually when you're not performing, you're kind of in your head, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's, when you're on stage, you're playing the characters, you're not being yourself. So a lot of people wonder about that. A lot of people say, but he's so reserved. How is that possible? It is very possible because, I'm not being myself. I'm just playing those 18 characters. And then I go back home, I go back to myself.
Right.
But as a kid, I actually wanted to be a dancer. I had, yeah, my first dream was being a dancer. My parents sent me to do martial arts, so that got a little bit messed up, you know.
Well, at least you were strong, so.
Yeah, and I can defend myself for sure. But I still love to dance, and yeah, I've taken a lot of classes. I've been in dance theater kind of companies, just for fun, just for I love
right,
it.
because it was your first love, right? So now let's go forward a little bit. It's 1993. You move here to the States because you wanted to try acting, right?
Yeah.
What was that like? Because it must have been a little scary. It's one thing to move from one part of the country to another,
No,
but to move over here from Italy, that's hard, right?
Actually, it was not scary to me.
No,
It was
okay.
no. To me, when I first came here, it was really La La Land for me, in the sense of like a paradise, a surreal dream, beautiful place. Yeah. Yes, I came from Italy to follow an acting teacher, to do, just study with him for a few months to try it out. And I just fell in love with everything, with the place, with the people, with the acting. Yeah, I went back through, I just left my place, everything, and I moved here. I was very, very excited to be here actually at the beginning. Yeah.
Now you studied with some pretty phenomenal people, right? Could you talk to us a little bit about that? And also, as part of that question, I want to know, when you came here and you were reading for roles, did you have to get rid of the Italian accent? Did you play it up? Like, how does that go for someone who's coming here from Italy who wants to act?
Yeah, no, the Italian accent is still scary to many people. It's like, for some people it's fine. Oh, it's you, it's who you are. But for some people, it's you must lose the accent. And I understand that. And I did work a lot on speech classes. I told you before I had my son, I had almost lost my accent. But then I had my son, and for me, it was very important to give him the Italian. And I was always talking Italian to him, to give him the language. And he's actually fluent in Italian. And, all my friends, teenagers, do not speak Italian. They can understand it, but they don't speak it because they didn't have a mother like me that would just be on top of it and make him speak it, I remember as a child, he would answer in English and I would just tell him, tell me in Italian, tell me in Italian. So it was hard.
I'm glad you did that with him because, when my folks came over, it was, well, they didn't come over, my grandparents did, it was like, no, you're speaking English only. I'm of that generation where we didn't learn. And now people that are teaching their kids, it's like, no, speak Italian back to me. So that's very important. So again, you were at least speaking it at home. So you were keeping up your language, but, did it ever prevent you from getting any roles, or were you able to lose the accent because you had to sort of assimilate into a role?
Well, I'm sure. Yeah, it's probably still a problem for some people, as I told you. But some people are very open to it now. There is we want diversity now everywhere, and
absolutely,
and that should extend to accents too. Because, and in my opinion, I do prefer a movie when I hear accents. It's so much more real, right? It's like real life instead of just all stereotyped one way of speaking, which we don't have anymore.
If you think about it, talk about old stereotypes in Hollywood, right? It used to be the beautiful, gorgeous, glamorous actress. And now I really do think that we're getting to a point where real people, we've got to see people like us, right? Yeah. Accents and all, warts and all is so important because we feel like we relate to the people in the film.
And also, can I add one thing? If it's really a role where I must lose the accent, I have a terrific, amazing speech coach. And if I work with him, John Sperry is amazing, I can lose the accent.
Now, one of the first roles you got here, right, when you came to LA was in the theater. And I know theater is truly your first love. Could you tell us about that? And you also love the one woman
Yes.
show. You enjoy
Yeah.
that. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I got here and I had so much to learn. So I started studying with some amazing teachers. But also, the best way to get into the acting is really to join a theater company and just do that all the time. You know, you just read plays all the time, you practice with other actors, you do shows, you are in rehearsals all the time. It's a nice, it's a very pure memory that I have of that time. I really like it a lot. It's all
But
about the
a one woman show though is very intimate. It's all about you on the stage, right? You are carrying the entire play, all the dialogue, everything. Is that difficult, or is it something that just comes to you? Like, how do you do that?
I would say it's difficult, but it's possible. And I'm going to tell you a little story if I can.
Yeah.
The first time they asked me to do a one woman show was in 1997. Dario Fo, Italian writer, won the Nobel Prize. And the Italian Institute of Culture in Los Angeles wanted to celebrate his Nobel Prize and wanted to put up a show written by Dario Fo for 3 nights at the Institute. I had done the show previously, the same show, but it's 4 different characters and we were 4 different actresses. So I was just playing 25 minutes of the show, of the entire show. And I remember the director of the Italian Institute of Culture called me, Enzo Coniglio, and he asked me to do the entire show by myself. And my first answer was, no, I can't do the entire show by myself. It's impossible. And he was like, why? And I'm like, Enzo, I can't. It's like, it's done with other actresses and that's how we do it. And he just kept saying, why? And he said, okay, let's just think about it and let's talk again tomorrow. And I spent all night thinking, how can I do the entire show? So literally, I didn't sleep. And I had a friend that just told me, what are you doing? You're an actor. You want to be an actress. Just do the show. So I woke up in the morning, I called Dance and I said, I'm doing it, okay. But I really had nightmares for a long time of, you know, it's going to be a disaster. I'm going to have to move away from LA. But it was,
oh no.
Yeah. I was really scared. But then once you do a one woman show, once it's such an amazing experience, you just want to do it forever. And I did it for a long, long time.
You said it's an amazing experience. Explain that to us, because believe me, most of us will never know what that's like.
Well, you get on stage and you know you'll be on your own for almost 2 hours and you have to make people laugh. In my show, there are 4 different characters. 3 are comedy and 1 is drama. So, you know, they would laugh for the first half hour. And then they would cry. That was really heavy drama piece. And then they would start laughing again. And you just need a lot of preparation. You just need to get in and however you want to prepare, but you have to prepare. To me, I could never do it just like, okay, let's get on stage and do it now. I could not. I have to prepare. And I usually prepare for at least 3 hours before the show.
Wow. And an incredible memory. I remember the little bit of theater that I did in high school and college. It's like somebody had to have little note cards off to the side because I was so nervous I couldn't remember. So it's a good thing I didn't become an actor because I wouldn't be able to do what you do. So that's pretty outstanding. Let's talk a little bit about some of the amazing people that you have acted with. One of my favorites, right? Daniel Day-Lewis. In nine. Could you talk to us about that?
Yeah, it was that was a small role too, but it was such an intense day with Daniel. 2 days with Daniel Day-Lewis, and he's such a doll too. He's so nice, so supportive. I remember that when the time came from our close-ups, he didn't have to be there. But he stayed. He said, no, I'm going to stay. I'm going to give them the lines. And he was right in front of me, giving me the lines for my close-ups. I thought that was so sweet. And
don't you find sometimes some of the greatest actors, the greatest writers and directors, they are the most giving, aren't they?
yeah, yes, it's true. It's true. And they have
Yeah.
a special energy about them. Um, there is a reason, I think, why they are who they are. Yeah, totally.
When you walk on a set and there is Daniel Day-Lewis, are you immediately really nervous? I mean, yeah, there you go.
I just hear my heart. Yeah, yeah. That's why I have to prepare. You know, the same thing for the one woman show. If you get up on stage in front of so many people, your heart just starts pumping like crazy. But if you prepare and you breathe and you do your own thing, then you just center.
American Crime Story. You played Gianni Versace's mother. What a role. Tell us about that.
Well, that was amazing. Unfortunately, the best scenes of what I shot there was that they were left behind. You know, I played Franca Versace when he was 10 years old, and that's what you see. And then I played scenes with Edgar Ramirez when Gianni Versace was 30 years old. And
right.
This scene that was just amazing, amazing. And one thing I'm really happy about is that they had to leave it out of the final cut, but the director gave an interview and he said that his biggest regret was to leave those scenes out because they were really amazing. Well, was when he was 30 years old and he opened his first store in Milan. He was from Calabria, from the south. His mom was from Calabria, and she was a dressmaker. She taught him everything. So he recreated hair store in Calabria in Milan. And the scene is about when he actually takes her from Calabria to Milan, and he opens the store and she walks into the store, and it's just exactly like hair store in Calabria. But you know,
wow,
in the center of Milan. And so I was crying and he started crying and we were hugging and we were touching these dresses and fabrics. It was just so emotional, so beautiful. And then we started a big argument, you know, because they wanted a big Italian argument.
A big Italian argument? Really?
Yeah. They were arguing then about what to do with the dress. You know, I want it short, I want it longer, you know, just like mom and son argument. But yeah, those scenes were really amazing and we'll never see them because they were cut out. Yeah.
But there were other scenes with you in that magnificent piece.
Yeah. The ones with the child were amazing too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Did you ever meet anyone from the family, like his sister, Donatella? Have you ever?
No, I haven't met anybody.
Yeah, because the entire family, his story, everything, it's very fascinating to me. And to be in that space where you get to play his mom, I would think is quite extraordinary. Did you feel like you really knew them?
Well, I felt special. I felt, my God, I'm playing Gianni Versace's mom. You know, it was like such a big responsibility. And I didn't have much material about the mom, you know, because of the age. There was not much material on the web, you know, pictures. So, yeah, I felt the pressure a little bit. But then I had that beautiful child to work with. He was such an amazing actor. He's an amazing actor. And, you know, he had a struggle because he wanted to be a dressmaker at 10 years old in Calabria. So that came with some struggles. And yeah, it was such
a beautiful story. Beautiful story. Someone else that you are thrilled to have worked with is one of my personal favorites, Francis Ford Coppola. I want to talk a little bit about the piece that you worked on with him. He handpicked you, right? And I also want you to tell me and tell our audience the wonderful story about you going up to his vineyard in Northern California. Would you tell us all about him?
Yes. Well, he's definitely number one on my list of people that I admire, that I'm grateful for, and to. He's just an amazing talent, amazing energy. I told you I went to the first audition. He was there in person. at the very first audition. I've never seen anything like that. I walked into the room thinking someone is just going to tape my audition. And there is Francis Ford Coppola sitting on the desk like a little child.
Wow. What was that like? I mean, he's like one of those,
surreal,
oh my gosh, kind of
surreal.
people.
Yeah, very surreal. Very surreal that you walk out and you think, did it just happen? Did I just meet Francis Ford Coppola and talk to him for 20 minutes? But then the amazing thing was the callback. At the second audition, we were about, I don't know, something between 20 and 30 people. And he kept us there for 5 hours. For 5 hours, we were improvising and dancing and singing and talking in dialect from Naples. It was there too. I walked out and I thought, oh my God, the best 5 hours of my life as an actor, you know, hard to describe, but just an amazing gift. And then I got the role, so I got to play with him for 4 weeks.
Wow. Where did you film? Where did you film?
We filmed at UCLA, the studios inside UCLA for 4 weeks, experimental project. He was experimenting live cinema. So we had 40 cameras on all the time. He picked me, I think, because of my theater experience, because when you do live cinema with 40 cameras on, it's really like doing live stage, you know, like theater.
Well, there is something about an actor and actress who come from theater, right? You can feel that, whether it's a TV show that they're in or a film. There's a certain quality to the work, I believe. And I'm sure that's what he picked up on in you, as you said, right?
Yeah, I mean, we used to work really, really hard, you know, in theater, and you really sweat it. And of course, we have to make adjustments to be on camera, you know, everything has to become smaller. But there is that amount of effort that we are used to put in the work that, yeah, I think makes the difference. And then after we worked on Distant Vision, the experimental project is called Distant Vision, and you can find it on IMDb. After we worked on Distant Vision, because I write, I showed him some of my writing, and he said, you know, he complimented me about my writing. And one day he asked me to go up to Sonoma. He has restaurant, winery, resort. And he asked me to rewrite. He's such an amazing perfectionist. Wow. He said, look, I do, it's not dinner theater, but it's something similar. I've been doing it for many years, but I feel the evening has lost some energy. Would you go up and rewrite it and basically direct the waiters like if they were a dysfunctional Italian family?
Wow.
So I go up to Sonoma for 2 weeks, and I find out that the place is just always packed for that event. It's like it's always overbooked. There are always like 30 people in line trying to get in, but he thinks he lost energy, you know? And
wait a minute. And this is at his vineyard, right?
Yes.
Yeah, for people who haven't been there, you must visit. It's extraordinary. And I've been there a few times, actually. And I remember the first time, this is before I had met him, there he was just sitting there. He lives there often, right? It's one of his homes. And very often he'll just be there. So it's quite an experience, everybody, to go up there. But anyway, go ahead.
Really, because it's not just a restaurant. It's not that you just go there and you can tour the winery. There is a pool, like resort style pool and cabins. And it's great. It's an amazing place.
Yeah.
But when I got there, you know, I was curious to find out, you know, I have to rewrite this evening. So I wanted to know what was about, what they were doing currently, and who wrote it originally. And they told me he did. Francis wrote the original. So I was like, oh my God, I have to rewrite something that Francis Ford Coppola wrote. So I came up with a scenario of a crazy, all gone wrong wedding. Everything went wrong.
That's real. that's for sure real. That's happened.
Yeah, that happens. Exactly. That happens a lot. But in this one, at the end, at the very end, it culminates with the fact that the bride is pregnant and the groom doesn't know. And so it's like a big mess. But that was so much fun. That place, you're right, you have to visit because it's an experience that it's so different from for us. We live in LA, everything is a little bit boxed, we are so self-conscious, and we go to our auditions or to our meetings and it's all kind of prepped, right? But in Sonoma,
it's different there.
Yeah, people are just so relaxed and so just into having fun. I thought, people would just be sitting there watching this event, but everybody just got into it. There were people, at some point, there were people standing on the chairs going like, go and get married, go and get screaming.
I love that. Oh, that's wonderful. And he loved it?
Everybody loved it. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. I wonder if they're still doing. I wonder if they're still doing the wedding.
I don't know. We've got to find out. That's a road trip for us, Francesca. That's a road trip for us, honestly.
Fun. Yeah.
So you've been here for some number of years, right? From moving to Italy. What was the toughest part for you when you first came here from Italy, breaking into acting? And what is your absolute, favorite moment from acting? I mean, you're in an Oscar-nominated film. That's a big deal.
Yeah. You mentioned a little bit of why it can be tough when you first arrive. It's a lot about connections, about meeting the right people that can introduce you even to, the best class, the best way to, the best agent, getting a good agent is so hard sometimes. I find that you waste so much time at times with the wrong agent. You get into a contract that just it's not the best fit for anybody, and that's wasted time. So that's a big part for me too. And even now, I'm interviewing to get a new theatrical agent, and I just don't want to make the move right away because I just want to make sure now at this point in my life that it's the right fit for everybody.
Who's listening out there? Because gosh knows, any agent who takes you on would be a lucky guy or gal. That's for sure.
Thank you so much.
Any advice that you would give to people coming over from a different country? Let's say folks coming over from Italy who want to do what you did, who want to follow in your footsteps and become an actor. And also, my last question: the folks back home, what do they think of your career? They must be very proud of you.
They're not much into the acting, but
really,
they're proud of me. Yeah. I have to say there's something that was hard coming here. It is that not having my Italian family close by.
Yeah.
You don't realize at the beginning, you come here, everything is fun. But then as time goes by, you kind of get stuck here. You create a family or a life for your own, and it's hard to move back. I go back a lot, but it's not the same thing. And so I would think about that twice, because having your family close by, I think it's always kind of a gift for us Italians. Something that we value and we don't want to ignore.
Yeah. But you've made the best of everywhere, right? You've made the best of Los Angeles, of coming from Italy, and certainly Los Angeles loves you. Gosh, it's been great chatting with you. Any parting words that you'd like to tell our audience, please?
No, just that was great to be on, and I love this show, and I will be following you for sure.
Oh, thank you. We are thrilled to have you because Luca is just such a favorite with our entire audience. And we're going to be rooting for Luca to win. And I hope you get to go to the Academy Awards, right?
Yes, I hope they win. I hope it wins.
Yeah, will you be able to go? Do you have any idea?
I don't know. I don't know yet. I will try anything I can to go, Deborah.
At least one of the big viewing parties. I mean, being that you were in it, will you let us know how it goes?
I will, definitely.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Francesca Fanti, well-known actress from just outside of Rome, most recently in the film Luca. We're just thrilled and honored to have you join us today. So thank you so much for joining our Little Italy of LA podcast, where we highlight Italians and Italian Americans around Los Angeles and beyond who are sort of adding to our life, our culture of being Italian. So thank you so much. I am your host, Deborah Zara Kobylt, and thank you so much for joining us. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Deborah.
Ciao.